You hear a lot of dire warnings these days about the collapse of the nation, the end of the republic. Those are not to be taken lightly, for they're rooted in the truth that there has been a fundamental shift in not just politics, but the entire national DNA. It's taken decades to get to this point, but here we are. This is partly fueled by an unwillingness on the part of many to look squarely at reality. And frankly, who can blame anybody, really? It's really horrifying when you look at it. We need to make distinctions, however, between a collapse and what follows. Anarchy is what follows in the wake of a collapse. Anarchy is sudden and explosive. It's more or less an exclamation mark on the collapse. But the collapse, well, that's not sudden. It builds and slowly at first intensifies, but collapse is an ongoing process, continuing until, well, anarchy takes over. Think in terms of overall physical health. You aren't suddenly hospitalized from eating a donut, maybe even 6 donuts, but the accumulating deterioration of your overall health from eating crap regularly, as well as not eating well and exercising. In such a situation, a collapse is not some future event. You're actually in it at the moment. It's playing out. And as a result, you don't really notice it, but it is happening. Old rotting buildings just don't suddenly collapse. In fact, nothing just suddenly happens. Anarchy arrives, be it cultural or personal or spiritual or financial or emotional, precisely because there was a preceding collapse already in process and continuance. So make no mistake, what patriots, especially patriots who point to their faith in Jesus Christ, are trying to avoid here is anarchy, not collapse. And yes, that's how far down the road we are right now. It's clear the communists are all down with anarchy because for them, no other possibility is acceptable. They have for decades now programmed the collapse. They've engineered it. They've fueled it, grabbing all the cultural institutions, all of it, so they can build the collapse because they need anarchy so they can emerge from that anarchy and seize total control. The entire reason they engineered an ongoing collapse was to arrive at the point of anarchy. We've been collapsing for decades, but for them, that's merely been a stepping stone, not an end in itself. They sense they are very close to bringing it all down, and that's what they can assert themselves. That's what they want. As we get closer to the pivotal moment, they're not being, pardon the expression, but it is apropos, they're not being gun shy. They want us dead. They'll start with the leader, the political leader, but they assuredly will not end there. And remember, if Trump somehow manages to win, there are still approximately 70 days to go after that before he takes the oath of office. Harris will still be running the country. Merrick Garland will still be the U.S. Attorney General. Alexander Mayorkas will still be heading up Homeland Security. Christopher Wray will still be the head of the FBI. Having failed to stop him from winning, they'll have about 10 weeks to stop him from assuming office. We must either work to reverse the collapse or descend into anarchy. God love you. I'm Gary Michael Vorse.